A very warm welcome to you, 45 Morning Show, your breakfast program that keeps you abreast of happenings in social, political, business, sports, and every aspect of life. I am Adenike Woye Ajiboye. Good morning.
I am Osage Wilfred Solomon. Good morning. Nike, you're looking good this morning.
Oh, really? Thank you so much. What can I do with the situation that we are in Nigeria? I just have to make myself happy.
Of course, it's looking great in her dress.
Thank you.
Golden lady.
Oh, thank you.
Good to be on the show.
Don't forget to introduce yourself, Patience.
Hello, Patience Willie. Thanks for joining us on the U45 Morning Show.
All right, on U45 Morning Show, you know how we drive your day and we make you have a very fulfilled day. This is just the program to help you start your day well. And so, you know, as we do it on U45 Morning Show, we quickly want to have our newspaper review. So let's see what the dailies are saying, after which we'll keep you abreast of latest happenings in and around the world. So we begin this morning with the Sun newspaper, and on the front page the headline reads, Rivers boils as governor faces impeachment. The writer then says, State Assembly begins process to remove Governor Fubara from office. Majority leader sacked. Emerges a factional speaker. And another writer reads, Suspect attacks set Assembly complex on fire. Another one reads, Nobody will remove me. I am ready to die. This is according to the governor of Rivers State. And that story you will find on page 6 of the Sun newspaper. Another headline reads, Supreme Court, we are not deterred by verdict, says PDP chairman. That story you find on page 27. Financial autonomy, Parson shuts assembly complexes nationwide. That story you will find on page 26 of page 28, I beg your pardon, of the Sun newspaper. Another one reads, Federal government threatens to revoke Discos, Gencos licenses. That story is on page 2 of the Sun newspaper. Horror in Abia cattle market. Governor Otte reviews discovery of 50 bodies, 20 decomposed skulls in a market. That story you'll find on page 4 of the Sun newspaper. A Federal Executive Council, FEC, approves 2.7 trillion naira supplementary budget for 2023. You also find that story on page 2 of the Sun newspaper. Anxiety as Kano conjoined a baby's head for Saudi Arabia for surgical separation. That story is on page 28 of the Sun newspaper. Another shouting headlines on the front page of the Sun newspaper reads, Ex-VP Atiku blows hot on Supreme Court's verdict. And the writer reads, accuses Apex Court of legitimizing illegality, forgery, identity theft, and perjury. Another reads, vows to continue struggle to deepen safe democracy. Another one reads, time for you to quit presidency. That is, according to the presidency, you'll find a story on page 26 of the Sun newspaper. Protest rocks Jos over conflicting judgment. A governor calls for calm. That story is on page 5 of the Sun newspaper.
And on to the Vanguard newspaper. The headline says, Chaos erupts in Rivers. That's on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then the writer says, hoodlums bomb Bond State Assembly. 24 legislators sign impeachment notice against Governor Fubara. 26 lawmakers suspend Speaker. 3 others install Edison. Go to court. New Speaker tells aggrieved lawmakers. Adjourns House, sign, dine. Security operatives shots directly at me. Fubara challenges 24 legislators to list his offense. Condemns burning of assembly. Police command launches investigation. PDP governor summon emergency meeting today. So much is happening at Rivers State right now. Guys, what do you think? I mean, since Wike left, I don't know. it's like there was no smooth succession. What do you think?
Well, you can't say that there wasn't smooth succession.
It's like,
there was a smooth succession, but of course, you know what is playing out for me. It's the power of Godfatherism, because we all witnessed Wike. He anointed Fubara to becoming the governor of the state, and he worked so hard to ensure that he eventually emerged the governor of that very state. And now that he is the governor, it seems there is a political rift. And that is not far-fetched, because if you look at the history, it's always like that. They say that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Yes. So if somebody has brought you to power, he feels that is right, is obligatory, to also continue to be the one in charge of the state affairs. And of course, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, he needs to cool it down, because of course we know that Wike is very foresee, and I'm sure that even the step being taken by the assembly members, one can say that it is the voice of the former governor himself, in person of Wike, because how do you, he is the #1 citizen, he's the governor, so how be it that, how many months has he been in charge, that the House of Assembly are now coming up to say they should impeach him? So if investigation is really done, we really want to pry our eyes into the activities there, you'll find that definitely the governor might be at loggerheads with the former governor, because the former governor expects him to be doing his wishes. So it's possible he's telling him to do something in his favor, and the governor feels, no, I can't be a rubber stamp, a governor. I would have to also have my say.
Yes.
Absolutely. For more of that story, grab the Vanguard newspaper. You find it on page 5. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, it says, Supreme Court verdict, struggle continues as long as I breathe. Article. Nigeria greater than your selfish ambition. Presidency. APC tells ex-vice president. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. FEC approves 2.17 trillion 2023 supplementary budget. That's on still page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, tribute as elder statesman Onwuabueze dies at 94. That's on still on the page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. Protests rock jaws over alleged conflicting tribunal judgment. Page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Page 31 says Messi wins 8 Ballon d'Or. That's on page 31 of the Vanguard newspaper. And finally on the Vanguard newspaper, electricity sector privatization has failed. Federal government admits. Autonomy, Oyo, Edo, Kanu, Ogun, Ondo, Assembly. Workers begin indefinite strike. For more of these stories, check page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper.
And then to the Nigerian Tribune, Fubara's story is really trending. The main story says, mayhem in Rivers. And the writer says, stockholders allege Wike Fubara at war. Another writer says, assembly ablaze. The other writer also says, House removes majority leader, serves government with impeachment. Another faction elects a new youth leader. And then that can be found on page 15. And then on page 25, it says police arrest 2 people for setting school property ablaze. To another story, it says 70 bodies found in Abia community. Then another story also says history will vindicate me over Supreme Court judgment. Atiku is so strong on going ahead. But I wonder the court is going to go to now, since the Supreme Court is the highest court in Nigeria.
Well, maybe, most likely what Atiku is saying will just be that he would not cooperate with the present government, and so he might continue to criticize the government, because I wonder what next he would be doing if the highest court in the land has already validates the election of the president. You begin to wonder what other action can he take. And like you've heard from different analysts who have reacted from different quarters in regards to the Supreme Court's judgment, they've all said that the right thing to do right now is for all the political party members, the candidates themselves, to work together with the present administration. And of course, the president himself has also said that he would form a national government, a unity government. I'm trying to remember how the word is being coined, whereby he would ensure that he brings on board the political party members, everybody, such that, because it is our country, and the overall interest or goal is for the country to be stable and to continue to move forward.
Yes, that's it. And that's all on Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, now let's move to the next dailies. I quickly want to take Tribune newspaper. On Tribune newspaper, the headlines read, the major headline reads, a mayhem in Rivers. Of course, this is what all the papers had. So quickly, let's take Daily Trust. Daily Trust newspaper, the major headline reads, 7 weeks after Tinubu's visit, Nigeria, UAE, row lingers. Nigerians in UAE cry out over work permit, visa ban. Federal government working to resolve issue. That is according to official. Another rider reads, decry slow pace in resolving diplomatic row. Now the next headline reads, FEC approves 2.18 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Tinubu Atiku continue feud after Supreme Court verdict. And another headline there reads, impeachment plot. PDP governors meet today to save Rivers governor. 90 million Nigerians lack access to electricity. This is according to the president. And now 20 fear dead in Cross River, Benue community's boundary dispute. One begins to wonder when the dispute between Cross River and Benue community is going to end. It continues to linger.
Well, I think as long as we exist, that feud would continue, because stakeholders have not, met to reach a truce concerning ownership and other stuff concerning the community. All of these disputes would only create chaos, amongst the community. I think there should be a meeting, a consensus between both communities, if I must say.
So they sue for peace.
Exactly.
All right, viewers, this morning, this is all we will take on the dailies. And now let's look at what is trending. What are the major stories here and there that people are talking about? First, let me quickly tell you that there is this Muslim cleric who is having a 10-day crusade in Kano. And then we saw him visited the Sultan of Sokoto. So, and he also called him the
head of state.
The head of state. And this, for many of us, especially members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, is worrisome. And now his name is Dr. Zakari Naik, who is presently having 10 days crusade right there. And now, interestingly, he has been banned from United Kingdom. He has been banned from Canada. He has also been banned from Bangladesh, Malaysia, and from his own native country, which is India. He was born in Mumbai, and he is a Muslim cleric of India origin, founder and president of Islamic Research Foundation, IRF. He has been banned in India, like I said earlier, he was also declared at a point in time as proclaimed by the Indian government as proclaimed offender under the Fugitive Economic Offender Act precisely in 2016. He was also accused of money laundering and making hate speeches against the government. He is also believed to be living in exile. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the man that we now saw in Nigeria. He has also said very important things which should be worrisome to many of us, gentlemen.
Yes.
He has said that Nigeria is a Muslim country.
Yes.
He also said that those who are non-Muslim in Nigeria will begin to pay taxes to
yes.
the Muslim
Yes.
leaders.
Yes.
Now this brings to mind the Muslim
Ticket.
agenda.
Yes.
A lot of people are saying that the Northerners have an agenda to Islamize Nigeria.
Yes.
We've been talking about this, and you remember that at the beginning of the 2023 general election, especially when the All Progressive Congress (APC) came out to say that they will be flying a Muslim ticket. A lot of Nigerians, reacted, and they're saying, why should we have a Muslim ticket? Also, what happens to the Christians? Now, after all of these reactions, the All Progressive Congress (APC) continued, and today they flew or rode on the Muslim ticket. Gentlemen.
Now, what I observe is they did not outwardly come out all this well. But immediately our president was declared as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This
as validated by the Supreme Court.
As validated by the Supreme Court. This Dr. Zachary came and is having a crusade. Now, take note, this crusade couldn't have just been planned yesterday.
Not at
It
all.
must have been in a pipeline, and they were just waiting for the right time. Now, what really amazes me is the fact that he had the infantry to go on social media with pictures of him calling our Air Force the Muslim Air Force. No, Muslim
Air Force?
Yes,
okay.
Not the Nigerian Air Force, but the military Air Force. That means our Air Force has been compromised at the moment, and security is going to be a problem. So, Zachary also said we have to pay jizya.
Which is like a tax to the Muslim leaders.
We are bona fide Nigerians, members of this country, and this is our land. So somebody cannot just come from nowhere and come and start forcing us to start paying this. And moreover, he's a very controversial person that's been banned all over. He's a terrorist. The government should look into this and take him. I mean, they should ban him also. That's my take.
Now he's calling the military a Muslim military, Muslim Air Force.
Air Force.
He even called the immigration Muslim immigration, with pictures
of him in Nigeria. No DSS arrest, no nothing. Imagine, let's flip the coin. Imagine a pope or someone from Rome visits Nigeria and say,
or having a crusade in Nigeria.
exactly, and then he take a picture with one of the Christian leaders and say this is the president of Nigeria.
Yes.
The head of state of Nigeria. How can you call a sultan of Sokoto? There are various traditional rulers in Nigeria, but you went to the north and called the sultan of Sokoto the head of state in Nigeria, and nobody give a hoot.
You know, I think this also brings to the fore. You know that the German Chancellor, Ola, was in Nigeria, visited Abuja precisely on Sunday. He was also in Lagos yesterday. And you remember that the most critical statement he made is the fact that that they are concerned about the rate of coup happening in African nations, where the military are already taking over, and also call the attention of the president to guard against such that we protect our democracy and do not allow the military to hijack democracy. Now, just yesterday, we are seeing this Dr. Zakari Naik now coming out to call the Sultan of Sokoto head of state, because you can only have head of state when you are having a military government. If you are not under military rule, then we should not have head of state. So I really don't know what our security agencies are doing at the moment. Are they looking? Are they folding their hands? Because immediately this statement has been made, they should immediately take him up.
Absolutely.
Arrest
if you
him.
see what he's doing, he's very intentional.
He's taking pictures with the armed forces.
Yes.
He's very intentional. He's not dealing with civilians.
No.
He's dealing with the immigration. He's dealing with the military, the Air Force.
The Air Force.
And it's going to continue. I'm sure we'll see more pictures. He's just starting. So it would not be out of place if Nigerians are saying this is an agenda.
And you know, a lot of people have been saying that the military has been
compromised.
There's the belief that lots of Boko Haram are already, they have penetrated the military. And for him to be saying this,
With
something
all guts,
drastic
with all confidence,
No confidence.
and nobody is saying
Something
anything, no
drastic
arrest has
needs to
been
be done.
made. No, I mean, this is just...
It is totally unacceptable, because let it not be that Nigeria is sitting on the time bomb waiting to explode.
Absolutely.
And I just hope that the government can quickly contain this, because we cannot wait to have a situation where Nigeria is also being hijacked by the military, because like they say, stitching time says nine. So we cannot sit down and look. Of course, as members of the First Estate of the Realm, we are doing our part, and that's the reason for which we are bringing it to the notice of the appropriate quarters for you to swing into action and contain this. You remember the case of El Zakzaky is still there, and El Zakzaky has just been released. You saw him, he was also being adorned and awarded. He got award. I'm trying to remember the country in which he was being given award. Now this is another one. I just believe this is another evil rearing its ugly head, and there's need for it to be cut down. That is it. So let's look at another story trending. But of course, our analysts will also put this to them to react, because something drastic needs to be done. So let's move to another.
That is trending is the Happy Boys.
They are back to Nigeria. They've been deported from Cyprus.
Oh my goodness.
They are in Abuja currently, chilling until further investigations will be done. This story is quite an interesting one. These guys were security agents in Chicken Republic some 2-3 years.
Working.
Yeah, they were called the Dancing Happy Boys, because of their strategy. They were dancing at their security post, and the management didn't think that was, a good
Marketing concept. So they were
relieved of their jobs. But then the OPM
the
pastor took them up, sent them abroad to further their education, to give them
in his own magnanimity.
exactly, which a lot of Nigerians were not cool with that. That you don't just pick people off the street. There's what we need to. There's what we, and I agree actually. There's what we call a mind shift first, before exposing them to comfort. And truly it backfired. The boys got there and started misbehaving. The last story we reported was that they'd been arrested over there in Cyprus, and they were
Imprisoned, and now they're back in Nigeria.
and now they have been deported back to Nigeria.
You see, this also brings to the fore the need for you to be very careful. If you want to assist, you have to ensure that you know the history of those that you want to help. You need to know their background. Where are they coming from? What is what kind of orientation do they have?
Yes.
Because you even see that because in this part of Africa, we always love people who are unnecessarily loyal. And so when people come to you, saluting you and all of that, you get carried away and you just want to give your all to them. But we are saying that this is not enough. As much as, yes, you want to assist, you need to know who you are rendering assistance assistance for. And that's why you see that even organizations, they don't joke with the need for you to have referees. You cannot come into an organization for them not to, they will get your address, and they will also ensure that there is somebody, there's a guarantor, there's somebody standing for you, a referee, so that if you misbehave, it is the referee that would be clamped down on. And so I think for those, the generous Nigerians, you need to begin to do your investigation, because it appears these guys are not used to the kind of life they are exposed to, and after giving them this kind of affluential life, they went ahead and started casting aspersion on their helper. And I think this is a very bad one. If somebody has assisted you, you need to be grateful. It's a mind of gratitude.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Back to the trends. Another trending story is the Ballon d'Or. I think it has the most trends. It's in millions. You know, yesterday 1.3 million posts already. Yesterday, Lionel Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or. Next to Lionel Messi is Cristiano Ronaldo with 5 Ballon d'Ors. You know, that's it's historic. When it was 6, it was historic. 7th one, historic. Now he has the 8th Ballon d'Or, the most in football history.
Well, it's just it's a result of hard work, you know, and that's just for you to know that so whatever you love to do, you have passion for, you need to pursue it to the latter. You need to give it your best and ensure that you get to the highest cadre of that profession, because that is a profession, and he's been able to tell you that he knows his onions, he knows this terrain, and whatever it takes, he will give. So he knows the nitty-gritty, and let me just say congratulations to him. And my charge for every professional is for you to also engage in trainings, whatever it takes. Just ensure that you also get awards, because the awards go a long way to tell you you are doing well.
Absolutely. Now, Pam, a lot of people believe that Lionel Messi is the greatest footballer of all time. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And what are your reasons?
Oh, you can see, he tells with his awards and all that. You can tell he's not only, he's worked for this. They say practice makes perfect. He's been working, he's been practicing, and he's been diligent in all he's doing. So that's the result of what he's doing.
Absolutely.
So he's number one.
Apart from his Ballon d'Ors, Messi also has the most trophies in football. Amongst all footballers that have ever played the game, Lionel Messi has won the most trophies, 44 trophies as a footballer. So from all of us here, we're saying congratulations to Lionel Messi.
Yes.
And I think that will be all for the trends.
All right, so right about now, we will take a short break for a breather, and after which we'll be right back, and we will also be looking at the major story facing us right now. Rivers State is boiling. The process has started for the governor to be impeached. So whether the governor will be impeached or not, only time will tell. So we will be having our analysts to give their views about this and what possible solutions would be. So join us again.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Denola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country, and wetin you sef want make your country do for you? You need to give something before you take something. Na the only way matter fit balance. No be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth make we build our country. No be every time we go talk things bad. Comot for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eye see am, make you hear am, make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, na top super screen we dey and my name na Mr. Peace, that MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that dial, make your finger for no.
There's no place for pretense. I can't watch you stand there. Oh no.
Ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Yusuf Olúṣọlá ni orúkọ ti tèmi, Funky ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbásìkì tó dùn tó kì tó yí gbogbo. Ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday 8:30 to 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday 1 to 2 fún ètò tó ga jù. Ẹ má miss ẹ̀, ó ga jù lẹ́tò. Ẹ pàdé mi, ó ṣàfàfà.
Lẹ́nu ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu ó dùn lẹ́nu. Tamota cannot do.
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head. And if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? And don't you dare repeat that again.
What is she doing?
I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat. Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food?
The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh my son! Oh my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
Hi, Chief Major General Jones. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please. What are you doing out of bed?
I needed a drink.
You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief. And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my house and sold it. And I swear, he's going to rot in jail.
It's okay, baby.
It's not okay.
Hello? Hello?
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
Because they fight all of them, it is always good to live in peace with our neighbor.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yay! 25 years.
When people from different backgrounds live together, there is bound to be disputes of boundary, shared amenities. Your favorite TV comedy drama is now wearing a new look as Face to Face rebranded.
Hi, Ajani.
Yes, guy.
There is problem in the house. Your brother wife, the current man, come house.
Lie. It no go happen. My brother wife. See, now me supposed to inherit that woman. No.
Baby Julius.
Baby
Julius. Baby.
Wait. I've been expecting this. I've been expecting this.
Starring your favorite star actors, Face to Face rebranded.
Mama Shule, if you don't get this, your rubbish
off my precious baby now, I will throw it away.
Reach to the sky, ladies and gentlemen.
Demand attitude.
I am Salahuddin.
Demand excitement. Demand action.
Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this? You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation. Together we talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
Welcome back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. Yes, the topic of discussion is we are looking at the impeachment process which has started yesterday against the governor of Rivers State. Yes, there is a political rift between the Rivers State governor Siminalayi Fubara and the former governor of Rivers State, who is now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja. And so we are now being joined by Sonny Ekanem, a politician. Sonny, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? How are you?
All right, it's really beautiful to have you join us on the program.
Thank you very much. Glad to be with you too.
Sonny Ekanem, I'd like to get your reaction in regards to the impeachment process that has started against the governor of Rivers State, Governor Fubara. And of course, we saw the protesters in support of the governor took to the street yesterday, chanting, "Wike go to Abuja."
Well, we thank God they didn't succeed, because that would have been a civilian coup, especially when the governor alleged that a DPO opened direct gun at him, shot at him directly. It would have been a coup, very bad. Thank God they didn't succeed. As of yesterday, a news speaker. So the issue of impeachment of Governor Fabura is not there anymore. Thank God for that. It was a legal move, very, very legal move. How can you just wake up and say you want to impeach a governor? Just wake up. At least there should be offenses. They should set up, the chief judge has to set up a panel. The procedures, where people start acting like emperor. You know, the man is used to working with his oga. Is this Lagos, you want to carry Lagos, Rivers State to Abuja to Lagos. Rivers State is not Lagos. One man cannot act as an emperor. And it's a South state. I'm from the South. You should go and ask Akpabio what Akpabio people did to him. Nobody comes and say, Lord, it over us out. Go to the Delta State. Ask what happened to Ibori when he was trying to control Okawa. He has 8 years. Let him go and press. Can be minister under Tinubu. But to us, ladies, let him rest. He has forgotten so soon that as soon as he was elected to, his father, his God, Amechi, he pushed him out. Come on, oblivion. in River State. This into is going back there. After this, Wike will not be able to walk on the street of River State again. He will need battalions of police to walk on the streets of River State. Prove anything. Is that what they voted him out for? Those are for impeachment. Personal self, I go for it. That they failed.
Seen as a case of things fall apart between a godfather and the son, because we all witnessed how Wike was, talking so much about him. And again, Wike is a PDP chieftain, and the sitting governor is an APC. Yes, we saw that the protesters went to the House of Assembly yesterday. I'm sure it is because they know there's really nothing they can do, and that's why that has been stopped. How be it that politicians are always faced with this kind of problem? Godfather always wanting to assert the authority even when they are not in power.
You cannot rule godfatherism out of politics. You cannot rule it out. Somebody must come and say, this is, I want to anoint you, I want you to go. But I'm not elected, the person haven't been elected. The man that puts in there should allow it to function. But it's not a question of they want him to function, they want him to direct him. You want to direct him before you do any approval, you want to see it before appointment. That's how it works. There's godfatherism everywhere. Our own is that they want to control the budget. They don't control the man to his house, how he sleeps, how he wakes up. So that is very bad. It's not as if there's no control. But our own is very selfish here. I could have started fight with this young man very early. Was not too early. How many months? He spoke well of Wike. He was making chief of staff. Where did you push Meshi? He pushed him into political oblivion. And now, look at what is happening now. Wike betrayed the PD, isn't it? He got his results. Amechi betrayed the PDP. He got his results. Wike is not a member of PDP, for information. Don't let anybody deceive you. You saw it at the Supreme Court. He went to sit with the APC members. He did not sit with the PDP members, but then they said there was no seat for APC, there was no seat for PDP. Who is he deceiving? Why is he deceiving himself? He's deceiving himself now. The man is two-faced. APC, PDP. He can't play two-faced. As far as I'm concerned, Wike is not in PDP. He's an APC man. The painful thing is that the governor, the party is not speaking. The PDP as a party is not speaking. They are under Wike. I don't know why they cannot speak and say, look, Wike, we don't like this one. Oh, governor, we don't like what you are doing. They just kept quiet. It's very bad for our democracy. It's not helping the DP too. They're supposed to come in and say, look, I agree that Wike has been trying to prevent the man from attending governor's meeting. They've had about 2 or 3 governor's meetings. But Fubara has not attended them. Maybe that is why they said, all right, we'll leave you to face your guy. But that shouldn't be so. They should defend him. I expect the PDP governors to come out and defend him. He's a PDP governor. If he's our flag bearer in River State, we should protect him. So to me, godfatherism is not bad. It's not bad. But the way we are doing it is bad. The other man to sit down there ruling proxy. Yes.
I'd like to ask you a question here. Now we see that what Minister Wike is doing to Fubara is more of authoritarianism. Is authoritarianism allowed in our democracy? And then secondly, does the sitting governor, does he have the powers to kick Wike out of River State completely so he can go to his jurisdiction in Abuja?
No, nobody has the power to kick Wike out. You understand me? The people, you won't be free to walk on the street again. It's the force now, haven't failed. For example, we have these dictatorial tendencies everywhere in Nigeria. EFCC chairman was detained for how many months? They released him. He too went in, keep quiet. You cannot sue them, cannot sue those who detain illegally. Okay, Omiefele is there in detention. We have this dictatorialism everywhere. Dictatorial part of, it's not in the constitution, but it's part of it has become part of our polity for the past years or so. It's not in our constitution. So the Wike is an emperor in Rivers State. You know, he's semi-god. But people of Rivers State have told him, we can't accept this from you. They thank God for the 6 assembly members yesterday came and elected a new speaker. No, thank God for that. Are you there?
Sonia Kanem, I'd like to ask a question. What are the potential for increased conflicts between ethnic groups, considering the fact that Wike is an Ikwere man and Fubara is from the Ijaw-speaking area? What do you think? What's your take on this? Potential conflicts between these ethnic groups?
Those people cannot fight themselves. They cannot themselves. But this is an Ijaw man. The other speaking, the Igbo speaking side, which came from, they have ruled. Amechi, they have ruled. So this is the first time the Ijaw man is ruling, and you are talking of removing him. It's not right. It's not proper. You don't even have the power to remove him. You cannot even remove him. The people of Rivers State have spoken. They don't want a man to come and interfere with the ruling of Rivers State. Governor was given the power, let him rule. So there's no conflict between the group at all. There's nothing there. They have been coexisting, they have been living together for so many years, and they will continue to live together. They cannot cause any discussion there. It doesn't even have the power to cause it.
Issue of security. It's alleged that the Governor Fubara is not the one handling security, that Wike Yesam is still in charge of security in Rivers State. That's an allegation. It's alleged.
That question should be. If it's an allegation, let it remain as an allegation. Because the IGP should look at that. Because he is in charge of security. Not even the governor. The president is commander-in-chief of the armed forces. If they want to destroy democracy, the way they are going is to destroy it. The constitution says the governor is the chief security officer of the state, and an emperor is sitting in Abuja and say, I want to control security in Rivers State. Is that possible? Was it how it was done during his time? So it is, we are not imbibed this culture of democracy yet. For the past 8 years, it has been impunity everywhere. I want to tell you, it has been impunity. So how can a man in Abuja control security? So I think I will call on the Inspector General of Police to investigate the attempt. It was attempted coup. Suppose as the DPO found Governor yesterday, and the bullet hit him, and the man died, what will have happened? That's a coup. So the IGP must look into that allegation. I must bring that DPO to trial. He must be tried or posted at that state. So it is from the top. So much power is given to Minister Wike. So much power. Now he's only minister who can open only single accounts. I mean, multiple accounts. Other ministers cannot do that. How can you run a system like that? One special demigod somewhere, other ministers are junior to him. man is carried away by so much power. The man will wake up and say, I will demolish 6,000 houses. Is that how it is done? He woke up. Why hadn't demolished 6 houses? 6,000 houses. You'll have done that. So Wike, I don't know. Too much power corrupts. He's having too much power.
Of course, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Engineer Kanem, can you hear me? Now, this is my question. This is my question. You have called Wike an emperor. Number one, I want you to explain to us why you've decided to call a Wike an emperor. Number one. You also said that let us not be deceived that Wike is not a member of the People's Democratic Party, but a member of the All Progressive Congress, APC, because we saw him in court congratulating the president. On what basis are you saying this? Because Wike has not come out to denounce his membership for the People's Democratic Party, PDP. So how do you go ahead and justify the fact that he is not a PDP member? Engineer Kanem, I think we lost him, and I'll get back to him. I don't know what actually happened. There must be a network challenge or the handling of his phone. So, gentlemen, you have heard Engineer Kanem. He's a politician. Of course, he's also the chairman of People's Democratic Party, PDP, South-South group. He's their leader. He has said something. He said Wike, I would have wanted him to, respond to that question, describing Wike as an emperor. Is it describing him as an emperor based on the fact that he's a two-term governor of that very state, or because Wike is naturally a fussy man and a political leader that everybody has come to terms with in the sense that what he wants, he always gets. And we also saw that Wike played a very critical role in ensuring that his political party, PDP, also lost the presidential election because the APC actually won in that state.
He was actually thinking that Governor Fubara will be his rubber stamp figure. He put him there thinking he doesn't have a mind of his own, he doesn't have a mandate of his own, and that when he gets there, he will just be a puppet, and then he can tell him what and
be directing him as he wants. Okay, we have Engineer Kanem. Engineer Kanem, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I don't know what happened.
So quickly respond to the question, why do you call Wike an emperor? Why do you describe him as an emperor? Then number two question is, Wike has not denounced his membership of the People's Democratic Party. So why are you saying that he is a member of the All Progressives Congress, APC?
Well, an emperor, after spending 8 years, don't forget that Wike is not the first governor in Rivers. He was not. He was not the first governor, PDP governor in Rivers State. We had other governors, so Odili was there and the rest. But after spending 8 years, the man thought that he owns the whole of Rivers State. PDP made Wike who he is today. Wike did not make PDP what PDP is. So he arrogated, he saw himself more of an emperor, a king, not as a lamb. So he believed that everybody should come and pay homage. Because when he was in power, it was happening now. Too much money now. He would throw money around. People would go and dance and pick the money. But now he's out of power. No money to spend again now. So the emperor is gone. So we now have Wike sitting down. If he was in power, I think people would marry and say, Wike, go. There are people of Rivers State have told him, sit in Abuja. We don't want an emperor again. We want an elected governor. That's what they have said. And I believe them. I stand with them.
I want to feel that I'm with you. Can you hear me? It is possible for an average Nigerian for an average Nigerian to see this talk as a talk of jealousy, because you just said Wike always throw money around and people jump at it when he was in power, they pick the money and all of that. He's still in power as a minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Could it be that the PDP are jealous that eventually he still makes his way to government? And besides, were the PDP members not also running after him because of the money he was throwing around? Because at a point in time, I'm aware that PDP was the major sponsor. He was always in charge when it comes to financing of the party.
How many states did they finance? The big question is, how many states would we finance? You finance the officers at the party, pay salaries at the secretariat. We have 36 states. How many states did they finance? As far as I live in Lagos, he didn't finance PDP in Lagos. I don't know where he financed. So whatever he financed is just because he wants to enthrone people there. He can control. That is his style of government, his style operation. Finance people, remote control them. The acting national chairman now, for example, of the PDP belongs to his group. Quote me, most of the members of the work committee of the PDP belong to his group. Even the acting national secretary, who is also contesting in Imo State, conscience says you must resign. He refused to resign. When the court says step down, he refused. Which he said nobody has the right to challenge him. These people are moles within the PDP. They are moles. They are not. Forget about them. That who is he feeding now? That will be jealous of who? It's those people who run to him to collect money. We don't run to him. We should pay politics on him. Huh? So it's those who run to him to collect money. So as far as I'm concerned, he's not a member of it. Because anti-party is a criminal offense. His anti-party is bad. So I've been suspended from the party. What kind of alliance is that? That you work against your own party? Yes, you will say, yeah, Atiku work against the party too. But Atiku came, you didn't operate within the party. Atiku left the party in 2014. He left the party and then worked for this APC against Jonathan. He came back to beg. He was among those people who also begged for Atiku. Atiku went, he thought he would defeat the man at convention. He lost out to Atiku at convention. He had not forgiven Atiku. Then Atiku did not do what he did. Atiku left the party. Let him leave the party. Double faith. Bible says a double-minded person cannot receive from God. I'm a Christian. You cannot be worshiping God and worshiping the devil. And then you say, I want to go to heaven. Make up your mind. Like Solomon said. He said, it was Joshua who said, today, make pronouncement as to which God you want to follow. He said, for him and his family, he will follow Jehovah God. You cannot serve two masters. Let him remain in PDP. Behave like a PDP man. He's not the first person that has been given appointment out from the PDP. It happened before. But he is a PDP man. He's here to destroy the party.
Engineer Kanem.
And destroy the party.
Engineer Kanem, because of time, this is all time will permit me to take from you. I just want to say many thanks to you for your time this morning. If not, I would have loved to also get your reaction on what the ripple effects of this will be, because we saw the tussle that happened between the former governor then and Rotimi Amechi. Lots of shooting and all that. And so we don't know how this is going to pan out, but we keep our fingers crossed and hope that peace continues to reign in Rivers State. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Engineer Kanem. We wish you a very beautiful day. You're welcome. All right, viewers, we have been speaking with Engineer Sonny Ekanem. He's the leader of People's Democratic Party, PDP, South Group. And so he said so much, but right about now, we also have another politician who would want to join us. But before that, you remember on the program, we talked about flooding affecting part of Lagos and Ogun State. And of course, we have seen the governor there swing into action. We saw the ministers, and they have promised that there will be a lasting solution to that flooding in that area. So it remains to be seen what solution they will bring on board. However, we are still concerned about the ecological fund, that most likely this is the reason for which the dam was opened. Of course, I put a question straight to the governor, and he debunked it, that nothing of such. I mean, that nothing will warrant them open the dam just because of ecological fund. Whether there is ecological fund or not is the aspect we will be treating with our next guest. So, join us again.
It's Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most. Ricky is a virgin. Why are you Ricky. Virginity?
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really see my body.
Where's the eat a lot?
You don't see my body, that's a special thing.
What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paul.
Paula.
Tunde.
Tunde, no.
Like I tell people, it's for you to be great in whatever you do. You have to stay humble and believe that you are a learner.
Have you ever been asked to play a romantic role?
Of course, I've played romantic roles.
Hi, my name is Iyabojo, and you're watching Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru.
The second half. Revolution! Moses. The long lineal line.
It's lights out and away we go. Bottas gets away well.
Well, so glad to have you back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. Like I told you earlier, you know, we have been following the story of flooding affecting Lagos and Ogun State. Of course, so part of these two states, and we've witnessed the governor, the ministers go there. But we don't want it to be all talk. We want action in such a way that there will be relief for the residents of that very area. And now we want to talk about the Ecological Fund, which was the question I put through to the minister and the governor. And I think in the course of the program, I should bring to you what the governor said in reactions to whether there is an ecological fund or not. But really, from what the governor said, there is an ecological fund, but are they using the ecological fund for the purpose in which it is meant for? I'm aware that this money is supposed to be released quarterly, and for them to take care of the environment. Now, let me quickly let you know the establishment of that law. The Ecological Fund was established in 1981 through the Federation Account Act of 1981 on the recommendation of the Okibo Commission, while the Ecological Fund Office was established in 1985. Yes, the prime objective of the initiative is to have a pool of funds that would be solely devoted to the funding of ecological projects to mitigate serious ecological problems. It should, however, be noted that the states and local governments receive their share of the derivation and ecology fund as part of their monthly allocation at the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, FAC, and this is in their monthly meeting. We are now being joined by a data journalist, Kehinde Ogunyale. Kehinde Ogunyale is a journalist with International Center for Investigative Reporting. Kehinde, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you very much.
All right. It is nice having you join us on U45 Morning Show. So now, you are an investigative journalist. We want to hear from you. First, what's your take on this very funds, the Ecological Fund?
So, thank you once again. The background that you've given, the Ecological Fund really was put together because it is expected that as the states grow, right, several issues and projects, ecological projects, one of which is flooding, would need special attention. This is against every other planning and budgetary of either the state or the federal government. So back then we had about close to 1% of the FAC, that's the Federal Account Allocation Committee, which is always disbursed every month, given to this state to help handle some of these issues. And one of the, should I say, deterring problem we found out is that as of last year when we had the massive flood that displaced about 1.4 million people, questions began to rise, and we saw the former president then come out to say, at least in the past 3-4 years, I think between 2018 and 2022 when that flood happened, 1 trillion, close to 1 trillion has been released as ecological fund for each of the 36 states, including the FCT. So really, what is the state doing with that? I mean, one would expect that the flooding that happened could have been contained to at least to some minimal extent if projects like appropriate infrastructures like building of drainages, building of well-structured dams that could accommodate some of these flood waters that come out, because then we would also want to put into specification that one of the causes of the flood was the release, obviously, of water from the Cameroon Lagdo Dam, then obviously the multiplier effect of climate change. But then we had this infrastructural problem that the Ecological Fund released every month is supposed to handle. And yet we still have flooding displacing 1.4 million people from their homes. So really, that begs the question, what was the fund used for? And like the story that you're quoting, we we saw that in the first 4 months of this year, about 12.9 billion has been released to some of these states, which having states like Kaduna, Lagos being one of the highest states. That's the first 4 months of this year. And the FAC amount has been released up to, we're in October, I think it has been released up to September, October. I'm not sure on that right now. But then, question goes out to, what are the governors actually using all these funds that come out? We saw I think sometimes last week how the NBS released the internal state revenue generated for all the states in 2022, and we saw states like Lagos, states like Rivers topping the chart. But when we compared that to the FAC allocation, we saw states like Bayelsa receiving more allocation from the federal government rather than generating. I think the comparison was more than 90% ratio of federal government allocation down to what even made as IGR. And Bayelsa is one of the most, I think about last year, according to NEMA's data, was one of the states that has the highest number of displaced persons and people affected by the flood. So this particular state, as well as other states, are also receiving ecological fund monthly. But this question to how they utilize the fund is what a great issue around. Obviously, we can't question how, and if you ask any state government, they will probably want to give you, which was the several excuses that they made for last year. But then we saw issues of flood happen, and there were prediction of it happening this year. And if it had happened this year, I mean, then you would almost want to wonder that have we learned the lesson from what happened last year, and which is it? Thank you.
Let me ask you, Kehinde, as an investigative journalist, can you tell us the work or what you have been, the investigation you have been able to carry out that goes to justify the non-usage of these funds by the governors?
So one cannot really say specifically that this is why a particular governor or a particular state did not use this particular fund, right? And like I said earlier, every governors will have their way of justifying it, obviously. But then there is the problem if it's not that you didn't receive the money, but how you use the money. Several works, even from the ICR, has been done on flooding that happened between October and November 2022 and aftermath of the flooding. So I can tell you for as I speak right now that even at the time in August when we had the NEMA going around saying that there might be another flooding predictions, right, and there might be another reopening of the Lagdo Dam, we went down to some of these areas and discovered that no provision has been made for them. Some people are just, when the flood subsides, they just return back to their homes. No work has been done. No, I mean, there was a supplementary budget passed by the president, the former president, sorry, before it was adopted again by the new president, that had a whole lot of projects and construction just for flooding alone. In the supplementary, I think that was over 819 billion. Yeah, that was passed at earlier this year, I think in June or July, right? So there was that fund that was passed, even dedicated to repair some of the roads that are spoiled. So the stance that we have now, right, is if the state governments are actually using the funds right, and I can bet it with you. You know, over time, one of the things that we have always questioned is not the fact that state don't generate revenue, not the fact that we don't use money, but the fact that the money are not being used appropriately. So you find a lot of projects that are abandoned, a lot of roads that are uncompleted, right? A lot of flood displaced area that has not even been completed till date. So yeah, these are issues that we have around states. But answering the question directly to say if they really utilize the fund, I think the whole idea of 2022 flood proved them wrong.
Now, Kehinde, I would like to ask you this question. Are there any best practices from other parts of the world that Nigeria can learn from in terms of environmental funding?
Yeah. I think that in some part of the world, some people are adjusting very well to how. I mean, let's take it back to Cameroon, right? when the whole idea of creating the dam started. When Cameroon proposed that whole creation of Lagdo Dam to control the flow of water, right? The idea was to meet with Nigerian government and they create a receiver dam right here too in Nigeria. So when they open their dam here, our own dam control here too can also control it. That was the whole idea from skeleton. So it is not a fault of Cameroon opening their dam. They have done their own part. So the question needs to come back to Nigeria if we are also doing our own parts, right? So yeah, there are a lot of countries right now that are adopting several infrastructural that even aligns to the whole idea of managing and control the effect of climate change. But the proactiveness of our governments, right? And just I think a year or 2 years ago was when we just started the whole clamor and bring out an MD and a ministry that really organizes and watch through that organizes every activities around climate change in Nigeria. And right now we are beginning to see how the minister is already engaging in several activities around climate change. So yes, are we doing enough as Nigeria? Still fairly, because so many things contribute to flooding, and it is not only rainfall. The fact that we have dams that have not been constructed, the fact that we have environmental issues like as low as dumping of waste management, right? We don't have it. Growing up, I used to know a time in Lagos where every Saturday was what we term as environmental day. That between 9 to 10, you don't open. I think 9 or 7 to 10, shops or markets, because how effective is that law till date right now? So you find people flouting this, right? And as much as several countries are beginning to adjust, and the sweet thing about Nigeria is that the climate change problem that faces a particular state like Lagos is quite different from that is facing several states in the up south place. Go to areas like throughout last year I was in areas like Cross River. I saw several deforestation happening still date, and these trees that has grown over years that also helps to control flows of water are being pulled down, and yet you have nothing the governor is saying about it. So yeah, so as much as we have an infrastructural problem because of the poor management of funds, we also have an environmental problem where laws are lacking, laws are not being obeyed, are not being followed sincerely. Yeah, that's what I'm.
Transparency and accountability of these funds.
Sorry, can you take that question again? I didn't get that.
I said, what can we do to ensure that there's transparency and accountability concerning these funds?
Yeah, I think since last year we had begun to see a lot of NGOs working towards. So one of the things is bring the government into question, and I like the fact that the former president was quick to pounce on every state immediately the flood started, and like, you have received close to 1 trillion, which is about 2.2% of the whole budget put together from 2018 to 2022 as ecological fund. What did you do with it? And you all are all complaining of funding issues right now. You are complaining of flooding issues. So imagine if each state had dealt with every form of drainage problem, right? We would not have a supplementary budget that was passed this year to address the whole issue of flooding right now, right? So yeah, what can we do is as a coalition, as media house always, and even down at our organization, we are repeatedly hammered.
It's like we're having a network glitch there, Nika.
Yeah, there seems to be a network glitch. Kehinde, we can't really hear you well at this point in time. But of course, if you can hear us, before we come back to you again, I would like for you to take a listen to what Governor Dapo Abiodun said when I had an exclusive interview with him in regards to the question on ecological funds are being used or not being used. So let's quickly take a listen to that, after which we will also bring you in to get your reactions.
Okay.
To respond
Okay.
with your state as minister.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I must start by commending you
Thank you.
When it started, we brought it to your notice.
Yes.
And we're able to interview your commissioner.
Yes.
Ola Oresoya.
You didn't introduce yourself.
My name is Adenike.
Okay.
Okay. I
from
work Super Screen Television.
Okay, very good.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. Basically, I'm happy that you're saying that there will be a lasting solution.
There will be.
But how soon that is, I'm sure you cannot tell us now.
Correct.
However, the information reaching us is that there is an ecological fund that the government is, that the government receives, and that's the reason for which every year the dam is being released and the place is flooded. How true is this, sir?
I'm not sure I understand that question. Maybe Honorable Minister can answer that question.
No, come again with the question, because you asked about drainage, ecological release. I don't understand.
Yes. From findings from residents in this area, they say there's an ecological fund the federal government takes, and that's the reason for which this place is flooded. When they open the dam, and there are also companies that fish and export it. So I would like you to clear the air on this.
There's no connect.
Well, you know what? Let me thank you for wanting us to answer your questions, but let me make some certain clarifications. The state government does not have any ecological fund. The federal government is the custodian of the ecological fund, and that fund is appropriated and spent in areas where the need has been identified, and that need is not identified by just the governor saying, I need this money. There's a process that is followed. The attention of the government will be drawn to the particular incident. Studies, consultants will be appointed. The place will be evaluated to see if it truly qualifies. And if it did qualifies, then the funding will be released in line with due process to ensure that it meets the needs of the people and provides a long-lasting solution to the problem. So there are times where the problem is because there are no drains, there are no outfalls, there are no embankments, there are no retaining walls, there's need for channelization or desilting, and so on and so forth. Or perhaps at times when you're experiencing the environmental impact of people that have mined in some areas and have not done remediation. About times it's just an issue of the global warming, like the minister had mentioned. But those things, like I said, are only arrived at when they have been carefully evaluated. So that is as far as ecological fund is concerned. The issue of the dam is another story, and you see that both ministers have refused to address those issues in particular, because for now they can best be described as speculations. Until when a study is carried out, a minister cannot come here and say, oh yes, it is a dam, or it is this. That is why the ministers have said they will sit down. They've asked for the community to present members to be in the committee that will jointly work between the state, the residents, the federal government, to ensure that a study is commissioned which will throw up the immediate cause of this problem and how we can resolve it. So let's not, model issues up and say the dam, the ecological fund, that is not true. So I hope that, but I'm sure that the ministers may want to clarify.
Kehinde, you have listened to Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State. I just want to get your reaction in regards to what he has said.
Yeah, so like he rightly said, first there is no state quote ecological fund, except it is actually passed in the state budget, obviously. What there is a federal ecological fund. So the ecological ministry is under the federal government, and the fund is released every month in line with the general FAC allocation that is released to each state. So on my data here, I have that in the first 4 months of this year, Ogun State, alongside the FAC allocation, has received about 316.9 million right, as ecological fund in the first 4 months of this year, right? So and like you said rightly too, there's also a process for you to, so it's not as if the money is being just given, right? So there's also a process for you to feel like, okay, this is a project you want to do, this is a project you want to do, this is a project you want to do, right? And you access the fund to implement those projects. But then there's also the question to ask. I mean, I stayed in Ogun for more than 4 years. If you just go through the Songo Ota road, you have a lot of projects. I had passed that road almost in the last 5 years. I always ply that road. I mean, just putting one of that fund into that road, you would almost ease the life of everybody. If rainfall happened on that road, you would almost see how soaked everybody is. Rain entering and flood water entering into every house, penetrating and distorting all transport and economic activities just on that Songo road. And there's just a lot of places around Ogun State. Songo Ota road is one of the popular eyesore, and you have there's this other place too around that Songo Ota road that's always so clumsy. So yeah, that the government is not receiving an ecological fund. Obviously, every state is receiving that every month. But how are you using it? And that's where the question lies. How come there's a money allocated for this particular project, and yet people are still living in disdain, living in poor conditions? Yet there's a money allocated. So what are you really using the money for?
Now this is where my question comes in, Kendi. I don't know if you can hear me now. According to SERAP, a year ago, SERAP is the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project. They accused the federal government of President Muhammadu Buhari of failure to probe the spendings and prosecute suspected perpetrators of the ecological funds, and then to recover missing public funds. You know, so but I'm trying to see how we're contradicting ourselves here. You said earlier on that you are giving kudos to President Muhammadu Buhari for being on the toes of the states to use these funds. Now SERAP is for its purpose, and now SERAP is saying that the federal government is actually frustrating their investigations. You know, so how do we marry and balance these two ends?
So that I don't get misquoted, right? So what Buhari came out to do then, when the whole idea of flooding happened and ecological fund happened, was come out to just stop, give his normal press release, right? That over 1 trillion, almost 1 trillion, has been received in the last 3-4 years as ecological fund. Then why is all the state having issues with flooding, right? So it's not as if he launched a probe. All he just did was come out to speak on it. That yes, why everybody's complaining that there's flooding around the state, there's a money actually allocated to deal with these issues. But why is everybody's complaining? So then there's also SERAP also, which we work very well with, who also investigated to know that, okay, now that you have come out to question that this money is being received, are there pros, are there investigation into know what they really used this money for? Idea of ecological fund will probably have not been ever known or ever spoken about if flooding didn't happen, right? So we till date, I'm not sure we have heard of a probe right now as I speak that says that the government is investigating into how states spends their ecological fund. If there is, I have not heard of it, right? I'm not sure there's any. So and that question came up again sometimes in August, when NEMA started alerting some local governments, alerting some states that are going to tentatively be flooded if the Cameroon Dam again was opened again. And we saw nobody talking again about it. And I mean,
Kendi, you're right, because SERAP is saying that no date has been fixed despite their complaints, you know, despite the allegations on ground. No date has been fixed. The government has been quiet concerning ecological funds in the country. What do you have to say?
Exactly. Yeah, so I think that's like the whole answer that we have to it. So, like I said, we have not heard anything from right now the Tinubu government, obviously. So Nobody has said anything. I mean, the only agency that I know right now that is raising all ideas about flooding right now, if there's going to be anyone, is if it's not NEMA, it is NIMET, which are dealing with either emergency response or the weather response, right? No probe is going on right now to question ecological funds, and ecological funds are always released every month. That's the question that we have. So, and this is where we come into government also accounting into for the cost of governance, right? So you release money and you don't have any investigation bureau that is monitoring
no accountability.
Exactly. Nobody is just doing it. So you have fights of NGOs like Sarah, like other civil organizations coming together to say, can we probe this? Can we ask questions on this? Can they submit this? And if you try to submit any of it, I mean, all the ecological, what I believe what the ministry is just going to do is that, okay, this money is available. Once you come and ask for it and give them this stuff, they release the money to you. Whether you affect the project or not, right? I'm not sure they are going to come to you and come and attack you.
Okay, Kehinde, talking about executing projects and the right to projects to be executed, so we don't have, we are not faced with flooding situation. You, as an investigative journalist, you seem to be very conversant with Ogun State. Even from what you said you've lived there for so many years, maybe. From what you have seen in Ogun State, as an investigative journalist, what projects would you advise should be taken up, judging from the ecological fund?
I think good drainage system will be a very good start. Like I mentioned, the Songo Water Road, and this is not me talking even as an investigative journalist. You can, after the show, anybody can just decide to go and pass the road and you'll see it, right? So yeah, I think the Songo Water Road drainage system is what is wrong. I know that the state government has started its whole idea of pushing down funds to building of roads, but then when you have building of roads, right, you still have to deal with proper drainage system, and that's one of the issues that we have in Ogun State. I am an Ogun State guy, so yeah, that's one of the issues that we have. So I think one of the good things that you'll find is to see how the fund can be used to develop a lot of drainage systems that water can flow. And Ogun State has this river that passes through it, right? So if the water gets full, I've been in Ogun some 5-6 years ago where the water was so flooded to the point that it removed houses. It practically removed the roof of the house I was staying. So I'm not so yeah. So you have, and all this was because of proper drainage system. So ecological funds can be used to build proper drainage system, can be used to build dams, right? Can be used to build proper road network, proper water channels where this water flows into, and it does controls all these waterways that all these problem water that we're having on the streets.
All right, Kehinde, let me say a very big thank you to you for your time this morning. It's been quite enlightening, and I'm sure that the appropriate quarters are watching and listening. So I would just hope that the governor of Ogun State take up the suggestion of projects in which the ecological funds can be put into. Many thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Have a beautiful day. Yes, viewers, we have been speaking to Kehinde Ogunleye, and he is an investigative journalist. He said so much about the ecological fund, and he has also said that the Ogun State governor should ensure that they put this money into drainages, a good road network, and he stated the particular road, which is a major road in Ogun State. He talked about the Songo Water Road. I only hope that Governor Dapo Abiodun is listening and will swing into action, because you know we always have a problem at hand. In most states, or let me say in Nigeria, once it rains, the traffic is terrible. because the roads are not really roadworthy, so to say.
The drainages are blocked.
Exactly. And I think another thing is on the part of citizens too, we also need to exhibit that cleanliness.
Absolutely.
You know, we need to ensure that we don't block these drainages. People drink water, bottled water, pure water, just throw it anyhow.
True.
But then again, the suggestion will also be for government themselves to provide dustbins, because in universities those days, I can remember in Unilag, you have trash cans everywhere, such that when you eat or you drink, you move how many steps you're seeing a trash can, so you trash it. So that encourages.
And I also think they should bring back the environmental sanitation.
Yes,
yes.
He said
that.
He said that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We should bring that back because it really helped Lagos. On Saturday, I think the last Saturday of the
month, we used to do it while growing up. That was the culture.
Stay at home, and then it was a culture.
Exactly.
I think they should
every Saturday morning.
Yes, mornings. They should bring it back to Lagos, and that will help. And then while we're cleaning up at the end of the month, like you said, there should be enough trash cans everywhere.
Exactly.
And then
even in buses, because at the time the Lagos state government came up
they started
with
impounding buses because they don't have
absolutely. Now another issue you wanted to do, it was Loma. Sometimes when these guys have gathered their trash by the roadside, Loma don't come to pick them up, and when it rains, it washes this trash into the drainage.
And I think this is where we should also commend the former governor of Lagos State, Babajide Fashola,
yes, absolutely.
Because during his time he was very strict about that, ensuring that there is enforcement. If you don't do it, you will go and do community service because you are going to be arrested. So I think we need to bring back this. And of course, recently we watched how markets are being shut down. What's the reason for which they are also shutting down markets? They say because of dirt and all of that. So I think we shouldn't even just wait for that Thursday for market women or traders to begin to clean their markets. Let the Saturday environmental sanitation, let it begin, so that it becomes part and parcel of us. It becomes a culture like we've been doing. So everybody knows that, parents, children, you know that you need to clean your environment.
Absolutely.
All right, viewers, this is where we'll draw the curtain on a U45 morning show. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye, urging you to have a pleasant day.
I am Osage Wilfred Solomon.
And I'd like to add that Nigerians will always be united, even in our diversity. Don't let any Zakari come and tear the country apart.
Absolutely.
And Patience Willie, thank you.
Exactly. You have heard from Patience Willie, and this is how it will be. And from all of us, bye.